Wow, hello everyone, this is EC the Gamer, and we are back. And finally, I'm going to do a review. I was not going to do it, but I decided at the end, yeah, I'll do it. I enjoyed the game more than enough to merit you know, a review, a bit of my final thoughts in the game. So yeah, this is going to be a final thoughts review for a Plague Tales Innocence. Sorry, I was about to say Requiem because I already started playing that game. Uh, so yeah, wow, this game really surprised me. I'm like totally. It's one of those games that I knew was good. I always knew it was good, but for whatever reason, I never played it. I have the same thing with Hellblade, the first game. I don't know. I don't think I have Hellblade. I don't think I have buff Hellblades, but it's one of those games that I always knew that it was going to be one of those games that I enjoy. But for other reason, I never played it. Then I know they made the second game, Requiem, and I was like, yeah, I think it's time to play it. So finally, I did, and I'm definitely glad that I did play it. Uh, so yeah, the story is really good. It's pretty much you are living in the time where I think it's called the 100 Year Wars. I believe this was between England and France. I believe it had to do something with the crown or something like that. And at the time, I actually looked this on the internet too. It was also the Black Plague. The Black Plague was actually in that period of time, not the beginning of the war, but in those 100 years, the Black Plague. I don't know how much. It lasted some years, and so yeah, you play this character, Amicia the Room, and pretty much she is her family immediately gets pretty much killed off. Uh, which is not a spoiler, I hate that thing a spoiler. Play the game, you will see it. Just because I say it, when you see it, it's going to really shock you either way. So yeah, her family is pretty much killed off, and she has to go with her little brother, Hugo the Room, and escape the Inquisition. And yeah, it's pretty much the game is all about the story of these two siblings escaping the Inquisition, the persecution, and then that's where we get a bit of a supernatural kind of element to the story with the rats. Now, yes, we know the Black Plague existed in this time in the game, but never like this to the level. I mean, the levels of I don't know if what's the name of that phobia. I had to assume there has to be like a phobia of rats or something like that. Like spiders, there is a arachnophobia or something like that. I don't know if rats people have like if it actually have a name, but you're afraid of rats, this is not your game because the amount of rats that are in this game, it is stunning, like really. And this is an older game, but it's really stunning. The game, itself, it looks amazing. Uh, so visually, it's really good, and this game always does something that I was always getting frustrated because it was like there's this moment of peace, of really being happy, or at least tranquil moment. Then suddenly, boom, everything changes. Not only that you start to fire or start to escape, but it's more like even the climate, the atmosphere, the background, everything changes. It gets this dark, and let me be clear: this game is dark as hell. Not as how it looks, but the amount of death that these two kids had to pass through while they're going through this war-torn France, it is crazy. I mean, the fact that we'll see this. I believe we're going to see this in the second game. Hopefully, I've been seeing some signs in the second game, but a bit of a actual psychological trauma that this game must have they went through. It is crazy. They had to have something like a forever like this psychological trauma in their minds for the rest of their life based on everything that I play with them. It was crazy. So yeah, as far as goes, the story is really engaging. Not only that, this game does something really cool. uh, I don't know if I mentioned this on my videos when I was playing the game, but so let me explain this. A lot of games, when they go with this type of story, you know, a sibling, a loved one, or whatever, or a friend, a best friend, it always goes like, the journey that they go is like, it's either an unknown, like the two characters don't know each other, whether it is boyfriend, girlfriend, father, daughter, mother, daughter, or whatever, brother and sister. Like in this case, either you go on the path that they know each other, and it's just about the conflicts, the journey that they go through, how they start fighting or things like that. uh, and it's all about that journey, right? uh, how they how the journey affects them. But there's also the other one where it's they're complete unknown, and if they're lovers, they fall in love, and you see that journey. Or in this case, or in some cases where siblings, you see how their bond gets stronger. What's really cool about this game is these characters, they did not know each other at all. Like, they knew they had a brother and a sister, but that's the very unique thing that they at the beginning of the game is they really don't know each other. uh, because of Hugo's disease, he has been separated by the parents, not because they hated the kids. It's just that they pretty much quarantine him from the rest of the family and everyone else. And because of that, these siblings never met. They never been together. They even haven't had like a relationship. Not only that, it also created a bit of a, not for Hugo, but for Amicia. Amicia's the one character I really enjoy, uh, because she constantly, not constantly, but at least every now and then in the game, she will always mention it, like, oh, for example, uh, essentially this is what happened. Amicia spends most of her time with the father, while Hugo spends most of the time with the mother. She's the one who's trying to figure out how to cure her son, and that also caused a bit of a frustration and anger from Amicia because she wants to be with her mother and she can't. And I mean, she doesn't want to fault her brother, but at the same time is more because she never met him. So I don't know, how can you be angry at something you haven't seen, or someone that you haven't seen? But either way, the story between these two is amazing because you will see the gradual how their relationship changes. It gets better and better. Like, at the end, they truly really care for each other. Especially Amisha. Amisha really changed, and I really love that about her. Uh, that goes as far as the two main characters. The other side characters are also really good. We have, what's the name of Lucas? This is an apprentice for an alchemist. We have Roderick, is what's the name? A blacksmith. Sorry, the son of a blacksmith. We also have the two siblings, another duo, and these are pretty much orphans. Not orphans. They are pretty much runaways. They're just come for thievery. robbing in this massive battlefield that we see are corpses, the multiple people that die in the war or some major conflicts. And so yeah, those characters are really great. They all have their they're really well developed for the time they're given. Uh, as far as it goes to the villains of the story, yeah, the Inquisition is really good and all, but I don't know. I want a bit more of some of them, but you know, the story wasn't about that. It was about the the horrible journey that they have. You see the good moments, but the bad moments, and the bad moments are a lot of them. Uh, as far as the Amicia and Hugo as characters, design wise, voices, everything about them is really good. You know, the other thing that this is the one part that I took points, but not a lot, but I took points away from the game was the gameplay. The mechanics, and again, I'm a story guy. I like games more for the story. If the gameplay is not there, it's not there. I'm not going to put a lot of stock into the story gameplay. But this one did frustrate me every now and then because this game is all about stealth. This is pure stealth. There are a lot of things that you can use to defend yourself, but you can't fight. That you can't really fight against anyone. You get caught and that's it. You pretty much die. Eventually, you do get some items that it will help you fight back even more, and even when because pretty much this game, if a soldier gets you, it's instant that you die. But they give you some other ways to defend yourself eventually. As far as yeah, gameplay wise, it does its works. It has some things that are some issues. But I do like how they use also the new characters that the friends that you meet throughout your journey. There are moments that you are able to work with them, to defeat enemies, to go around them using a distraction, those kind of things. It's really cool, But this game, where it does shine in the mechanics, is more with the with the parts where you had to fight the soldiers and you had to also avoid the rats. Those moments are some of the most amazing ones, because when you see the whole game, for a game that is pretty much about stealth, you can't really fight as you normally would in other games. It gives you enough tools and enough ways to actually pass through a part. Like, for example, there's moments where you can go all out, pretty much eliminate everyone in the area, or you can pretty much evade them using a lot of other tactics and strategies. Using the rats, you can use the rat. You can throw rocks. She just has a slingshot. The protagonist doesn't have she doesn't throw bows. She doesn't have a bow and arrow. She doesn't have anything. She's pretty much a slingshot, just throwing rocks. But the way she used things is very smart. There's a soldier with a lantern. She can throw that lantern off, and there's rats. They're going to kill the guy. There are things where you can use them to attract the rats to a specific point. So the game does evolve as time goes by. So that's really cool about it. When it comes to there's a lot of customization in the game. At least you can customize a lot of the slingshot. You can make it like much stronger, the shots, or faster reload and throw it. You can throw more rocks much faster. The inventory, that the part that I didn't like. You can upgrade the inventory in the game, which is great. I do not like that you're you're shooting everything that you use to shoot to fight the enemies is also the thing that you use to upgrade your equipment. So, and even the game mentioned this, by the way, that I have to respect that the game actually does say it. There's a moment in the game that it says like, be careful, this new equipment, not equipment, the new weapons, the new tools that you have to fight, they will take a bit of a upgradable material. So be careful because you use it for that. Maybe you can upgrade at the end. So it makes you very careful to upgrade. So I didn't like that. I wish that the how do you call it, the everything that the things that you get to upgrade your equipment and also make your you know there is this thing like using a rock, and you can pretty much it's like it's called Innifers or something like that. It's pretty much nice. It's like a bit of a bomb that you throw. It's very luminescent, and but when you throw this, the upgrade, to make it again, it takes some of the upgrade materials that are very rare. So there were parts in the game that I used them, but I really had to count. Like, I never felt in the game that I was. The game told me there's a lot of tools that you can use, but I never felt safe to use them because I was always preoccupied with upgrading my equipment or having enough for the end. And at the end, I did have more than enough, but it's because I didn't use a lot of it. If I would have used more than enough, more than usual, I would not been able to. But either way, those are, quite frankly, for me, it's very minute. The game is very forgiving, in some parts. Another thing that is also the collectibles in the game, really good ones. I love the flowers that you can collect because those actually do get attached to the not only the flower. They teach you a bit of the story of those flowers, but not only that, but it also is, it reinforces more the relationship of the two protagonists as it grows in the story. The others are the curiosities that you get in the game, and those are really good because they actually tells you a bit of the history of this period of time, things that I didn't even know. So that's really cool. And the last one were the gift, which is weird. I never understood the difference between gift and curiosities, which is weird. Like, so the gift you can actually see, and this is a cool thing. When you finally get a place where you can rest, you actually have a board where you can see all your gifts. But I never understood the difference between them. Either way, they were really good. It gave you a bit more story and everything. I love how the story connects a real life event and makes this supernatural idea, and it's really cool. Yeah, I don't want to make this review very long. I pretty much talk about everything in fast. Story wise is really amazing. In terms of the characters, really good characters. I really didn't hate anyone. I really enjoyed the characters. Gameplay wise, it does work. Let me be clear, it's not bad. It's just that there's some things that sometimes can frustrate you, but it works really well. The RAS is a really good thing about the game. fighting the rats and also using them against your enemies is really cool too. They did a really good job with it. Uh, Hugo, you know, he does help in the game. Like he really does help. I was very surprised that he does enough. Sometimes he gets annoying, but he does work well. I do love the holding his hand the whole game. It does bring a bit of a challenge because uh, you know it's like you really have this person at your side. You don't move the same speed if you were alone. But either way, it's everything about the thing is really the music. That's another thing. It's a really good music. I was really surprised with how good the music was. And yeah, as story characters, the side characters too, they were really good. Melly, another one of my favorites. Arthur, you didn't get all the time with Arthur, but you know, it's because of what it was in the story. I understood that. But yes, and you see, the beginning is really cool. You know, the beginning of this game is really shocking. The way it's really a very, really, it really shocks you to the core, in my opinion. The ending, I mean, it's crazy what they did at the end. I was afraid at the end because when essentially when you will see what it is. You go to the church to fight the villain of this game. Vit, what was his name? Vitalis? I forgot his name already. The Grand Inquisitor, as it's called. I thought the way it ended, I was like, no way. This is a cliffhanger. The way it ended was a cliffhanger, and I was like, damn. The people that played this game when it came, they would have been crazy. Like, they would have been one of the biggest criticisms in the game, I think, because again, when you do a lot of this game, you don't know if you're going to have the approval for the second game. So based on that, it felt like they already approved the second game. But then after I saw after the credits roll, they did the Avengers kind of thing, you know, the MCU thing where you had to wait after the credits to see another scene. And yeah, the actual scene leaves the ending, doesn't give like a full conclusion because of the cliffhanger that was before, but it gives like an open-ended ending where if they left it there, it would be okay, you know. The game actually felt like it was like a true ending, but they also left like a hint of what the next game was going to be, and I can definitely see where it's going. So when you get this review already and started playing the second game, it hasn't grabbed me as the first one, but it's because again, this game was the emotional journey of them just running away constantly. It was really cool. It was really engaging, but that doesn't mean that I can see where they're going with Hugo now, more of the consequence of what happened in the last game. So yeah, I'm very interested in what it's going to be. Already the game has different mechanics, so they seem to have changed a lot, and already the Requiem looks amazing, even better than this one. So that's pretty much it that I have to say about the game. You know, it's one of those games that I definitely recommend. I gave this game a 9 out of 10. Personally and professionally, I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10 because of the gameplay issues and some other things with the story. I felt like, yeah, I do believe that it rushed. It was at one point by the end, it felt like they were rushing a bit. But again, after the journey, it made sense. You know, it's like they didn't want to just keep running. running to the ground the story. So I think they did the right thing. But yes, it's a 9 out of 10. This game is amazing. Uh, you're going to. This is a story game. The gameplay is just there to service the story, which is still good. Uh, but yes, it has a lot of creative. When it comes to the game for the mechanics, Amisha has a lot of creative way to fight her opponents. So it's really cool. They did a really great job with the game. Uh, yeah, story amazing, gameplay good, characters also great. Uh, the music amazing too. The visuals, yeah, looks really cool. Uh, yeah, other than that, there's really nothing else that I can say about it. I hope you play the game. I definitely recommend it, and already started the second game. We'll see. I want to see how they're going to deal with the journey because they've done more than enough with this story. But either way, that's all for the moment. As always, guys, thanks for watching my videos. Hopefully you will be watching. If not, hopefully if you didn't watch my videos, it doesn't matter. My hope is that with this review or even any one of my videos, if it helps you want to play this game, go for it. This game you have to play it. You have to. It's definitely one of those games that it's those games that if I Valkyria Chronicles, when I played the first time, it was like, where were you in my whole life? Like that type of game is. So yeah. As always, guys, don't forget if you're new to the channel, do subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. That's all for the moment. This is CC the Gamer sign off, and I will see you on my next video, which is going to be more of the second game. And I don't know, maybe I'll go back to Valkyria Chronicles 4. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Again, signing off, and I will see you on the next one.